Hello, everybody, and welcome aboard the Tabletop Express. My name is Chris Barrows. I will be joined shortly by my co-conductor, Anthony, and potentially other co-conductor, Ryan. But welcome to Call Aboard here on the Tabletop Express. This is our very special Unpacking PAX Unplugged. We're going to recap our PAX Unplugged experience here with you tonight. This is always one of our most fun videos, so I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you. And if you are new to the channel, here on Call Aboard, it is a live call-in show. We certainly encourage you to join our Discord so we can get to know you better. But our community, if you have attended Call Aboard, knows great opportunity to call in, be part of a show, and share your experience. I already got someone in the wing ready to go to talk about this event, and I'm going to do that in just a moment. And with that, actually, it is late to the party. Anthony, how you doing?
What can I say? What can I say? Holiday shenanigans on the technology side.
That's all right. That's all right. We have someone in the wings already, Anthony. But for those who have never attended Call Aboard before, I just want to let them know it is pretty easy to be part of a show. All you got to do is join us at call-aboard.com and you can get into the show. We'll see you in the queue and we will bring you on. We'll let you know. We'll probably ask you a question or two if we've never seen you before. But other than that, if we know you, you know the deal. You get right up to the stage. And with that, Anthony, I'm going to bring in our first guest, someone we did get to see at PAX Unplugged here. And when I say guest, by the way, we don't plan it. It's who calls in. I want to stress that. But with that, let's bring in Arwen. Hey, Arwen.
Hello. Oh,
how are you?
Hi.
Apparently, I've got to do this because otherwise,
oh, look at that! You have.
I'm going to be censored.
Yeah, there you go. Stop cursing, Arwen.
I did that a lot on the way home.
Oh my goodness!
Not on the show, but on the way home. Actually, let me.
Yes,
see.
And Arwen, for those who don't know, is, as you could see, host of the Cardboard Time podcast. Great episode on your return home. That car ride, so much great. Real discussion. I dig it.
Yeah. You always capture the true raw essence of the return trip from these things. It's fantastic.
the long, incredibly arduous journey back to Cleveland, Ohio, as always. So, well, no, I appreciate that. Those are often kind of my favorite shows to record because it's just recapping everything. It gives me a chance to decompress. It gives people who weren't there an ability to kind of feel like they were part of it as well. So that's really cool.
Andrew popping in saying,
"Hi, Andrew."
Arwen right there. So Arwen, I know we got a chance to see you. One, I want to say, obviously, always a delight to see you. I always say never enough, but better than nothing, right? We were in the same room for some of these media events. I know that we had a chance to check out, not necessarily always at the same table, but the Asmodee in particular media event. We were all in, which was a great experience. Yeah, there it is, the folder,
the cell sheets.
Yes, but I want to take a moment before you share any games. I want to thank you because thanks to you, we got a chance to talk about a game that I had been looking forward to playing, involving some dice chucking and some. Oh my god! Yeah, it's it was just, again, great because sometimes it's that little connection and to get that little extra hello in and then really dig into a game. So I appreciate that. Now the name is of course not
dice chucking and plucking is what you'll be doing in Chicken Fried Dice, which is what I've been doing all week.
Oh my goodness.
Whether it's playing with others, whether it's solo, yeah, I've just been. I was fortunate enough to grab a early production copy, just basically like a advanced prototype, and it's looking great. It plays extremely well, and the solo is beyond my expectations. So
Yeah, I was going to say it seems like, and we know that games in general have a history of, try and have a solo mode. A lot of times where it's maybe not necessarily warranted or is not done well.
Mhm.
And the fact that, and again, I haven't played it solo, but is it just from listening and hearing what you've said about it before? It seems like this really does both mechanics very, very well.
Yeah.
The solo content is very prolific and not the same thing every time. And you actually feel like you have a goal in mind and not just, ranking your score. And then obviously the competitive mode is just, I mean, look at this stuff. It's a food truck.
Well,
Yeah.
but the thing with this that got me was, for those who are interested, yeah, you're chucking dice. It's a wild ride as you're trying to best choose what you're doing as you do in some roll and writes. There's plenty of combo wombo, but on the solo side, the opposite of each player board is a completely different solo experience. So it's not the same thing on each side. It's diversified, and the passion, I have to say, when you talk to the designer here, I mean, you goodness, you feel it. So I think that just added an extra level in terms of presentation. If you were at PAX Unplugged and had a chance to demo this game, I think you felt what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And that did add an extra layer for me.
Yeah, Ashwin is extremely good at bringing people in. He's extremely good at talking up the game, and he still feels like, oh, I didn't do anything that great. I'm like, this game is, let me tell you, it's special. He's like, oh, I don't think it's that good. I'm like, dude,
I'm gonna
I'm
echo
telling
what
you, it's special.
I'm gonna echo what you said, because roll and writes haven't excited me in the past year or so.
Mhm.
This one excited me.
Yeah,
So
it's tough
Yeah.
to stand out when it's
Yeah.
the craze and everybody does it, right? And everybody does, even roll and write versions of games that are super popular already, and they're just adding more clutter to the market. And this is very unique.
Yeah, the two that really stood out to me this year were Reef and Ruins and Chicken Fried Dice. And I think this has the edge on Reef and Ruins a little bit. Oh no.
Oh.
Bum bum bum.
This is why you need to donate to BGG, folks. So
I did that.
errors
Mine is
like
set
that
for
don't
automatic,
happen.
by the way. I learned that I'm set for automatic donate $15 to BGG. It just does it. I don't think about it, apparently.
Yep.
Reef and Ruins is one that we've actually reviewed in the past. And I really enjoyed Reef and Ruins quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I do think I would give the edge from my limited experience of like one round, I
Mhm.
might already start to give that edge. Like that's from the vibe, but I need to give it a full play.
Yeah.
It's to give it a proper judgment. Reef and Runes is fantastic. I think.
No, I feel like you said the same thing about this game. It was that it's finally doing something a little bit different, where it's not like just, it's a step up from the super basic, like quintos and quicks and things like that, but not necessarily the giant two pieces of paper Motor City Games or Hadrian's Wall.
Hadrian's Wall,
Yeah. And I love Hadrian's Wall, but I don't always need to be playing accountant, which is what I am when I'm playing Hadrian's Wall. And I love it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't always need that.
I work spreadsheets for my day job, so I mean, I don't necessarily need to be doing that, at night either. So,
but what else was on your mind, Arwen? Because obviously we're talking about we talked about some Chicken Fried Dice, which I brought up. But what was on your mind? What were games that stood out to you at this year's event?
I had a few of them. I was kind of surprised by the amount that I was really not necessarily blown away by, but really enjoyed playing. I think one of the first ones that stood out to me, anyways, was Color Jam, and that was, I don't know if it's going to be on here or not.
It may not be, but I'm just figure I'll check. No, not seen it.
Yeah, sadly. So Color Jam is basically a coloring sheet game that you have 6 different colors. So you'll have crayons or colored pencils in front of you. And you can play this solo. You can play it cooperatively. In the case of, I got to sit down with Matt Hawker and Zoe Alred, and play the 3 of us. Matt made it way more difficult on Zoe because Zoe wanted to do certain things and it couldn't. So it was a lot of fun. But basically you have these 6 colors, and when you use one of the colors, you take it from its slot and move it all the way to the back. So you're basically numbering these colors 1 through 6. So if you use number 2, that becomes your new number 6. 6 becomes 5, 5 becomes 4, etc. The trick is you start off with 2 different spaces that are colored in, and you have the other spaces that are all numbered. And when you go to fill in a space, you have to color it in using the color that's in that particular spot that corresponds to the number on the page.
Oh,
it
that's
also
a puzzle.
has, yeah, it's a good puzzle. And it also has to be adjacent to a color that you've already placed. And there's a couple of like pre-printed objectives, but you can kind of go off and do your own kind of thing as well. So say you have a section that you want to color in all one color. You can just do that. You can say, hey, this is my objective for the game, and we'll see if we can do this. It's coming out from Lunar Punk Games. They're still kind of working on it right now. And they're specializing in victorless and multi-victor games, and kind of playing around with that idea of what does it mean to win a game? What does it mean to lose a game? That kind of thing. So they're doing some different stuff. I thought that it was going to be much more of a kind of solo experience. And this was so much fun to just play with the 3 of us and have a nice, easy start to the day. And I thought that it was quite awesome.
What are you actually coloring in the in the game? Is it like shapes? Is it an abstract thing? Is it an actual picture?
Yep. It's a overall picture that's subdivided into little shapes.
Oh.
And to Brian's point, I was able to distinguish colors from one another because I was able to pick out the colors that I wanted to use. So we got 6 colors that were wildly different from each other, and you can, kind of pick the ones that you want to use. And then you can also, have the big label that says this one is pink, this one is green, this one is blue. So you're able to go and kind of define that. Now, if you're truly like full colorblind, it's probably not going to help much. But for people who struggle with specific types of color vision issues, they're going to be able to go and kind of get around that by picking out their own colors. So it's really a fun experience. I think it's the kind of game that if you wake up on a Sunday, you want a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and you just, have your partner there or have some friends over, it's a great way to kind of start your morning or just kind of wind down a little bit.
Very cool. Very cool. And that is, for everyone, Lunar Punk Games. If you're trying to look them up, that's Lunar Punk is one word on BGG if you go to check that out.
So I've got a couple more, if that's okay.
Yeah, drop them, because we're gonna have we may have some crossover as well in the process here, because I know we played some of the same stuff, so we'll see.
The next one I wanted to talk about was Cozy Stickerville. This was a game that I actually got to schedule with Amanda Panda and Aaron, who's commonly known as Game Enthuse. This was a fun little game. Again, something that's very easy to play with the family, light decision space, but you get to go and on some of the cards, you basically pick an action. It's like, okay, what do you want to do? And the abilities that you have are defined by the cards that are out and what's also showing on the map that you're building. And you're building out the shared map. It's a co-op game. And then once you pick an action, you go to a page, you read out the story. Basically, somebody else that isn't taking your turn reads out the story. You're able to go and make a decision on that, and that opens up different paths and unlocks different things. So I don't think there's huge spoilers in this, but basically we got married in the first year. And the premise of it is that your father leaves you like this big plot of land and tells you, you're a disappointment to him and go make something of yourself, kind of thing. We had a group that visited the town. I won't talk about anything else with that group. But we had a really great time. You can just go fishing, you can go get some wood, and then you're going to be paying these different resources, whether it be food or wood, to build buildings, feed people, bring people into the village, that kind of thing. Really just a super cozy game. Yeah, a lot of games now kind of put that cozy moniker onto the front of everything, and I feel like this was genuinely a truly cozy game.
Because it's stickers, is it one of these things where it's one and done? Is there do you have 2 plays out of it?
You have 2 plays. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So you have a board, and you have a front of the board, back of the board, and that's it. I wanted to say the MSRP was looking like 40 on it, maybe. So for me, I think that's pretty much worth it. But we had a great time. We got the board from the play that we had with Amanda and Aaron, and then my wife also joined in. So we're looking for a couple of folks to join us to finish that out before I do a final review on it. But it was really, really cool. It stuck with me throughout the weekend.
Any game that does that's great. I love the cozy factor is nice, and it sounds like, look, the comparison I always make, even if MSRP is $40, that's $20 to play. Yep. Which you could spend $20 on a lot of things. That's not that bad of a value to me. And it sounds like there's a lot of gameplay in it, and it's going to be very different based on every time you play. So
yeah, so
right?
$20 per play, and then there's 10 sessions in each play.
Yeah, that's a
lot. So
that's
really,
a lot
$2 a session.
Yeah.
You got 4 people around. You can play 2 in the time that would take you to watch a movie. I think that's a fair comparison.
Yeah, I like it. I like that. That is Cozy Stickerville, everybody, which is publisher Unexpected Games.
Yeah,
if you're looking for that.
I also got to play Let's Go to France.
I may have came in and watched about a little bit of this one. So
I think he came in for like the back third of it, maybe back half.
Yeah, probably you had decent amount of cards out when I got to the table. So
and I got to play this one with Josh Wood, so it was nice having the designer be able to teach me and play his game. And it was amazing having the ability to play with Josh as well, because he designed it. He went to France to work on this, and he was able to tell me about all these adventures they had at these different places, and explain why they were significant to him, why they had meaning to him. So it was a lot of fun. I really liked Let's Go to Japan. This, I think, is going to be even better, and it's going to be a little, I would say easier for people to get into, because you're not trying to flip back and forth between the two decks with Kyoto and Tokyo. You're just basically going off of one deck. You have this little central board that you see in the top left-hand corner of the picture, that you'll get icons that allow you to travel, and they'll give you little bonuses once you do. Some of the spots you can only take the bonus once. Other spots you can go back and forth and collect the bonus multiple times. So I really, really enjoyed it. You can put up to 5 cards per day, but depending on how much time you take, that's going to increase or decrease your exhaustion meter. So you can either have a little bit more relaxing trip and be a little bit happier, or you can be stressed out, get a bunch of stuff done, but you're going to lose points at the end of the round. So that's on the track. On the right-hand side, basically at the top of the board, where you see that little plus and minus there.
My observation on this as I watched it, and again, I only caught that last third, and then obviously we had talked for a little bit after there, which was great, especially the perspectives. And just, if you've ever played Let's Go to Japan, one of the fun things about it that I always liked is that end game. And it was cool watching Josh do this. The end game, when you go, so here's what I did on my Monday, and you talk through, right? You're talking through. And I've always enjoyed that. Again, not everyone might do that. Some people who might just start doing the scoring, here's what I got. But man, it just reiterated just why that's the way to play it, because it was so fun hearing Josh talk about all the things he did, then you talk about all the things you did. And I've never been the one on the outside watching it, but it was such a draw to me. The other thing that drew my attention about this game was that other board. And I did like that we weren't switching back and forth. And I understand why we switch back and forth in Japan. Don't get me wrong. It's not a knock. I think some people might like this more because you don't have to do that.
That's probably the hardest part of that game to grok, I think, when you're teaching it, for sure. And it could really mess up your entire score could kind of be like in the toilet if you don't get that idea.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
Plus the time concept that you were talking about, Arwen, was you really are, it's more about how are you going to use your time. You could put 5 on one day, but it may not be beneficial for you to put 5 on one day and let's go to France. Whereas in Let's Go to Japan, you were filling out all these days in some form for the most part. So you kind of had to. In this, you have flexibility. So you can that strategy I like in there. That is it worth me losing all my time here and being more stressed versus no, I want to feel better going into the Tuesday.
Hey, I'm gonna have an awful Monday, but on Tuesday I'm just gonna rest up. And it depends on the bonuses that you want. It depends on your scoring conditions. So I think it really opens up a lot of new possibilities for the game, as opposed to how constricted. And Josh did that for a reason too with Japan. He wanted everything to be harmonious and, kind of synchronized and have that flavor that you have, going back and forth to Kyoto. But I think this, from a gameplay perspective, really kind of opens up that decision space and allows you to be a little bit more free. And it hit even more than Japan did with me. I think this one's going to be a favorite for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm very interested to try this. But Rachel has the hard-hitting question here. Will this add to the crockery collection? Is there any plates, mugs, silverware of any kind?
He didn't mention anything about that yet. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll be on the watch. I keep all my Vantage stuff in those because it doesn't leave the table. So
yeah,
I love those bowls.
Oh, they're so good.
I don't know what it would be for France. I'm not as well educated on France to know what we might pick up. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not
Maybe just put a
entirely
full
sure.
on like croissant in there, just food,
Throw a
Cheese,
croissant in your cake.
cheese. Yeah.
pastries,
Yeah.
escargot.
Oh my goodness.
Get messy.
But that one for everyone is let's go to France. I definitely can say, and if you've never had a chance to meet Josh, he's just a delight. I just want to say that
Yeah.
he really is.
I
Phenomenal.
will never have a play that's that good again unless I'm playing it with Josh again, because it was so educational. He was telling me about all these little fun facts from, places that either I went or he went, and he's like, I really like this card because I went to this museum. And
those-
it was so cool.
Those little details were really neat, which is why I was enjoying the end of the play so much, because he was not just talking about it like as a player. He was talking about, well, when I went here, this is what I'm like. So cool.
Yeah.
And there's going to be another game in the pipeline for somewhere else too. I mean, come on.
Yeah, so there's one that I can't talk about that he declined
Oh, interesting. Okay.
because somebody approached him about, doing one with a certain IP, and he couldn't do it just because he wasn't feeling it. But I feel like there's more in the works. I'm just saying. I don't
think
know
there's
if
legs behind it because he has differentiated. There's plenty of plays have just put the same thing out with a different feel. This feel with the similar feel. This feels different enough, and you can do that with another place because you just play into the culture and the
Yeah.
history of that location. So there's a lot we can do. I feel like that.
the
Ryan says,
little
"Let's go to Narnia."
the little idiosyncrasies that he was able to capture between Japan and France, and that they do come out in this game, and I think he's done such a fantastic job to capture those. Yeah. And also we found out that there might be another game on the way, not necessarily in that universe, but dealing with a specific place.
Okay.
Little teaser.
Yeah. And a good place collection there. Got Santa Monica in there too.
Oh yeah, I love me some Santa Monica. Anything else, Arwen, before we let you go that stands out from the con? Definitely, I know you got in quite a bit of media and talking to a lot of folks, but obviously it doesn't have to be something from media. You played some games along the way, I'm sure too. So
yeah, I didn't get to play as much as I wanted to. I feel like a lot of the time that I didn't have meetings. So I'll end this with one story that will lead into a final game that I want to talk about. We went to Hot Pot on Saturday night, and I was exhausted after going to the indie night market. Worth it, completely worth it. Got some good stuff. But my back hurt. I had my recording equipment with me. I had to stand in line. So it was a crazy time and a crazy experience. And all I wanted to do was sit and not be on my feet and just go to bed. And so we're sitting at Hot Pot. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll go to Hot Pot. I got to eat something anyways. And I was rooming with Jamie Daggers. For those who don't know, she's a mini painter online. You can go check her channels out. She's awesome. True woman of her craft. And she goes, I have a publisher that wants to meet you and talk about their game. And I'm like, Jamie, it's 10:30 at night. I don't want another meeting. I've had meetings all day. Most of them I didn't schedule. She said, well, the one woman that's involved with it is trans, and they're a co-op that, basically they share all their responsibilities. They get equal pay with each other. I'm like, okay, that's kind of fascinating. I need to meet these people. So I did get in a meeting at 11 o'clock at night. with a group called Cardboard Revolution, I believe is their name. And they originally did a game called Loam that came out maybe a year or two ago. And they've been working on a game called Demon Castle Mononoke. And I walked into the Unpub area where they had it, and this is by no means a finished game, but they don't have the cool part up yet. Okay, so this game is kind of a loss aversion game. So it's co-op. You're basically weary travelers that are trying to survive a certain amount of nights at this castle that you've stumbled upon. You need to rest and recover before you continue on your way. But you have been led to this castle by mysterious forces. And there's all of these demons that are trying to, basically kill you. Either you or basically destroy different rooms in this castle. And these rooms give you different abilities that you're going to use to recharge and give you, some ammunition to fight for the rest of the night. So you have to survive all these different demons. The really cool part of this, and it isn't even shown here, is there is a kind of boss monster that is looming over you the entire time. And it's literally looming over you because there's a pop-up book that they're using to go, and they have this pop-up demon that looks incredible, and it's just looming over the board.
Oh my god.
And it's not finished yet, but they're going to incorporate elements of the gameplay as you're going on into the book, so you're constantly interacting with the book, and you have this threat that's there, and you're doing stuff to remind you that there's this threat that's there. Sadly, we didn't get to play much because at 11:30 they did an announcement over the loudspeaker to basically say, hey, the hall's closing in 30 minutes. So we're like, okay, I don't know what to do. We went out into the hall. We tried doing stuff there, and they kicked us out there too. So I do have a copy of the game. I'm waiting on the rule set to be sent to me to go and do some plays of it. But I am very much looking forward to this. It looks like such a cool game. And the folks at Cardboard Revolution also were just fantastic folks to talk to. I think it's Tim and Jane there were just really, really cool. So I would recommend
are worth
checking that
taking at 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I mean, it was the kind of thing that, hey, I gotta go do this, I guess. And it was well worth it.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, Arwen, I just gotta say, as always, it was wonderful to see you spend some time and get some games on the table.
Enough.
Even and obviously, I'm going to encourage people to go check out the Cardboard Time podcast. A lot of great coverage from PAX, but so many other things, so many great interviews and conversations and discussion about board games. So please go make sure you do that. If anyone in the comments even wants to drop a link and share that to Arwen's podcast, that'd be great as well. Feel free to do so. You yourself, Arwen, if you want after this as well, could do that. But Arwen, thank you so much. And there's at least one more live show this year because we've got that on the docket. But I want to thank you as always for all the support and for being a part of our Discord community, having a home in our Discord community for your podcast. It's lovely, and look forward to another year of that. Just in case we don't talk to you in the next episode.
Well, and thank you guys for the home, and it's much appreciated. A great community filled with great folks. So it's been a fantastic year as far as gaming goes, and building that community and engaging. I'm hoping to do more now that I'm not trying to plan a wedding.
That helps.
I'll be on the road, but hopefully I'll be able to engage a little bit more with the community as well. So
Awesome. Well, we will see you soon.
all right, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Friendly reminder, of course, to everyone, if you would like to call in and be part of a show, call us at call-aboard.com. I saw, by the way, that we have Chris Porter in the house. Good to see Chris. We had a chance to see Chris. This is probably a good chance to talk about the fact that we did get to see some folks who we've had on the show before. I got to say, obviously, running into Chris, seeing Chris's full setup. If you watch some of our videos prior, Chris actually kind of unpacked everything that he did to get ready for PAX Unplugged prior to that. And then ultimately we had some great conversations. So I was great to see Chris, and I want to thank Chris for that. Your booth looked amazing though. And I know you had a chance to play Jingle Bell Roll a little bit since then. So would love to see, maybe you share your thoughts on that.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh yeah, Jingle Bell Roll was awesome. I'm glad that we got that to the table, and it's again, like Holiday Hills, it's going to just be on the table, guaranteed, every holiday season. I can't wait to get that one out more. Some more little things to explore, and always lots of little like expansions and little, just promo stuff in there, and really cool dice. That was a good time for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and Dan's here finally. Yeah, hey Dan, I was late too to my own show. So join.
Dad, no worry, you're fine. You are fine.
But watching Chris in action at the booth was just, I mean, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be, but it was just the presence was just amazing, because we compare that to our experience with him last PAX, where he was showing and demoing Holiday Hills just over like the free play area. And now he's got the booth, and it's just like, man, just the aura is just amazing.
I agree. And the thing I want to say is he did go from having this table in the middle of a room to a full booth, which is just cool. So first, that to me stands out. Give me 1 sec here. But with that, I want to say it looks like we do have someone in the wings. Just doing my usual business here just to get them set to go. And before we bring someone in here, I just want to say, of course, call-aboard.com is how you call in. So pretty important number to have for us, should bring you right into our studio. And then I am going to ask, if we haven't seen you before in the chat and you're not in the Discord, we do ask you to give us like a little wave in the chat room, because we had an issue once. So with that, we are going to bring in Matt Morgan. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Oh,
thank you, Matt.
I see what's hanging up back there.
I apologize. We have a fun historical story that is deleted from history. So thanks for the wave.
No problem. Happy.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Good. I had just popped into our PAX Facebook group tonight to post our miniatures contest, the painting contest photos. And the first post I saw said, "Hey, we're doing a live stream talking about."
Oh, yeah.
How could I not just hop in real quick?
Oh, awesome.
It's awesome to have you. How does everyone, does it feel another big event under, is past us, and, next year, obviously we've got our dates, but, how are the feelings now that it's all gone? Obviously such a big event, and it feels bigger every year.
Oh, it feels great. Feels great to be about 2 weeks in the past, and now I feel like a human again. you know, a lot of work goes into pulling off the show, but I feel like it's gotten better every year. This year was just really smooth. Got to take more of the time to walk around and see it rather than working the whole time. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah, that's true. How many years have you been involved with the con?
Since the very beginning, I
Oh, wow.
started with PAX East in 2013.
Oh, that's
Wow, yeah.
going.
I gotta say, you know, the whole the what if scenario this year was like the marathon, like what's gonna happen? The marathon's gonna like you know interfere with everything, and you know, I mean, indirectly it did from a financial price point of view from some stuff, but logistically, at least not that I saw, I didn't see any major interruptions in terms of just people getting around or you know having access to the convention center or anything like that. Which in the past, without other crossover events, sometimes there's been, you know, some hiccups getting inside and whatnot. But it seemed like it went over, like you said, really smoothly this year, which is great.
Yeah, it was really good to see that. I know there was definitely a lot of concern. How's that going to go? I mean, we did overlap with the marathon way back in 2017.
Right.
And
Oh, okay.
if you recall some date announcements we made, we were going to overlap with them in 2020. Not a lot of people know or remember that, but we had announced those dates. And then, of course, 2020
Oh
became
yeah.
what it was. So it's the sort of thing that it's not the usual weekend, but you know, third time in 8 years, you know, it's bound to happen again. So it's good that people got one under their belt and realized that, yeah, the hotels got a little more expensive. Maybe we had to park a little bit further away. But once you got there and got to Philly, same convention. Everyone had a good time.
Now, but did you get to play some games, Matt? Because obviously it's a busy event, but as you said, any games at the table for you? Anything that really stood out? Because there was a lot of really cool stuff this year. I mean, in terms of first look and kind of the games that got a chance to be highlighted that aren't necessarily out yet. So I'm always intrigued at what those are. But did you get to actually play anything that stood out for you this year?
Yeah, I did get a chance to play a handful of games, nothing too long or too involved, and I'm always very annoying to play with because I have to have my phone out in case something goes wrong with the convention. But this was an interesting year because it was the first time that I hadn't been really involved in the first look area planning. As I started with the convention early on, a lot of it, you know, the team has expanded over time. We have a fantastic first look team. So I didn't go to Germany this year. I didn't assist with any of the picks or anything like that. And in sort of a work-life balance, I said, you know what, I'm gonna trust. They're gonna do their thing. I'm gonna show up, see what they are, and they knocked it out of the park. I sat down in some bits of free time just to see the games for the first time, and Tornado Splash is the one that so many people have messaged me about. They said, like, where can we buy Tornado Splash? I got to play it twice. It's not a very long game. It is. It reminds me of playing Wave Race 64 on the N64
Cool.
as a kid.
I'm
This
gonna
is
look at
pure
that.
jet ski race. The bits are fantastic. The jet ski pilots slot into the different jet skis. So those are two pieces.
Oh, it like slides in like
Yep.
sideways. Cool.
They nest into
That's
each
cool.
other. So you can create your own, you know, driver jet ski pairing. This is simply a race around the track. You build the track so it can be a typical standard oval, or you could do something a bit more dramatic or exotic. And every jet ski has stats like a baseball card. And you'll get a unique deck of moves you can make that actually affect, you know, it makes sense. Your stats are represented by the cards in your deck. And you can see here that all you're doing is laying one card over the other, and it's propelling you forward. But you've got to align the next card with those dashed lines towards the front.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes they'll be a bit more tilted, or they'll be further back or towards the middle or the front. And it really affects how the jet ski drives. And so people are just having a blast, bumping into each other, edging each other out as we cross over the pylon there. It's a crowd pleaser.
Oh,
And is this just a straight race, like just first person across wins? That's the whole game.
Yeah, we're not doing any kind of betting on who wins or any of that fun
I like it.
stuff. But it's just a pure let's race. See who gets there first.
That is really, and I love the fact, like, I'm seeing on that one on the right side that clearly there's a bunch of different ways you could go, but there's one of them would head right towards the other player, and then there's the other one that's going off in a great direction. But then, unless you've got a straight path on the one on the left, the other directions aren't that great. It doesn't look like. So
But can you
I
crash?
It's pretty forgiving. They generally say, oh, as long as a tiny piece of your path is visible, like let's just nudge stuff out of the way.
Hmm.
But that does not ruin the tension at all.
Oh, it's very cool. I like that. Like Ryan said, it looks like it's back to the Christmas list. R1 pointing out that this looks really cool. And we had Chris over there talking about this is what gaming is all about. And I do agree with that statement, because the fact that you can come up with something that's as simple as cards and some pieces just to move around in a little race, I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah, can't wait for this one to eventually make its way over. A friend messaged me and said, hey, my daughter lives in Japan. I sent her out to go find copies, and it's sold out there too. Where can I get it? Like, it'll be here eventually. Someone's gonna pick it up.
Sweet.
Anything else that stood out to you? We always got room for another.
Yeah, I'd say one other game that actually went back and played a second time because it was a shorter game was Stem and Branch. And this is a game based on the Vietnamese Zodiac. I do believe the publisher is from Vietnam as well. And it's more of an abstract strategy game.
Yep, Vietnam.
The art, it's not like a low art abstract. This is a beautiful abstract. You're looking at 12 different animals in the Zodiac, and you'll play them into different squares, building them up from like a low strength to a high strength. Each animal has to be in a unique square. So you got this 60 card deck, 12 animals, 5 strengths of each. And it's almost like seeing Pokemon evolve over time as they get, into their final form. But it's definitely a game where you're nipping at the other players and trying to prevent them from scoring points. Because playing certain animals, you'll start to build up a stable, and the larger your stable gets, the more points you just keep scoring turn after turn. So you're kind of strategically playing from your hand to bring animals out from the leader and take them down. It does a good job of rewarding you for scoring in multiple different ways, but not like in a point salad-y way. It feels like there's a lot of tension between, am I going to try to go for this victory path or the other? It's definitely, you got to try with an abstract feel. You really got to sit down and get a play under your belt, and you go, oh, yeah, I see what this game's doing.
Yeah, it looks very elegant for sure.
Yeah, the art,
20 to 30 minutes.
Oh, really? So it is really quick then. I mean, you could get 2 games in an hour of this probably quite handily, it sounds like.
Yeah, the end game trigger is the end of a 60 card deck, and you'll get 2 actions on your turn, which could be play a card, draw a card. So you can see just so many times around the table of people draining that deck. It's not gonna overstay its welcome.
And this one, just to bring it up, Stem and Branch, it looks like is by Rolling Wizard Studios. And to your point, based out of Vietnam there. We've got a few else under the belt on stage and Fofo here. So you can check them out, rollingwizards.com. It looks like is their website as well. So that's I appreciate bringing some of these to our attention, because again, there's so many games at the event. And I always say every year I'm going to check out as many as possible. And then I always learn about some after I leave. And I'm like, how did I not see this game? And these are great examples of that type of scenario.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. I mean, we'll plan out the whole expo hall, and I'll feel like I saw every booth, and then I'll see photos. Like I know. I've been following this since it was a spreadsheet, and all of a sudden it's 2 weeks later, and I'm seeing photos. I'm like, where was this?
Oh, I mean, and then just for everyone who's tuning in, obviously dates are set for next year, so we know what to look forward to. We're back in December. And I will say this, the one thing I like about it being in December that excites me is timed so perfectly for me to also hit up the Christmas festivities, which that was probably the one thing I missed this year more than anything. Everything else was great. And
Well, the Christmas Village was there. It opened on Saturday.
it was, but I usually hit it like on the, I don't know, like I usually hit it early. Like that's what I do. So I'm not complaining.
It's okay to say it feels weird to go to the Christmas market before Thanksgiving.
Well, know what it is? I think the tree wasn't lit up yet because the tree gets lit up the next week. I love seeing the tree lit up is part of it because I always send that tree back to my kid. When it comes down to it, I really appreciate you calling in and, thank you again for all that you do to help make this event possible. I mean, you and so many people are the reason this can happen. And so, and it is our home con. So when we talk about this event, I mean, it is the event we look forward to every year. If we go to one event, it's this. So thank you for everything and appreciate you calling in tonight too.
Yeah, no problem. Good luck with the show. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Have a great night. All right.
Awesome. What an awesome surprise guest. That was great.
Yeah. Well, this is why we do live. I always joke about, I know people are the people who know why about the waving hand, I know are laughing at me, but they know why. I want to say too, I want to echo what you said. For all the talk about the parade, it had very little impact on the event itself outside of the prices of the hotels for me. That was my hotel issue. I had a hotel issue. That was it. But we made it happen. We were there. We had a great time. And again, if anyone wants to call and talk about the time they had, call-aboard.com. You are more than welcome, whether you attended, whether you were running an exhibition, whatever it might be. While we wait to see if you decide to pop in here in the next few minutes, I will say at this time that maybe we can talk about some of the games we played, Anthony, because you and I did get to play some games. Right?
We did play some games, and I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that Andrew is in the chat because I finally got to play my copy of Wine Cellar, and it was fantastic. So fantastic that Chris bought it himself, and we're gonna do some content about it for our local game shop as well. Just I knew that the artwork was going to be stunning because obviously I've seen it before, but to actually do the gameplay, it really was snappy, right? Like once one round, you know exactly what's going on. And, the clients, a little hidden thing is just enough for you to strategize about without getting like AP or totally stressing about it. You're going to get points. And yeah, there's just enough tension with the fact that you can't completely rearrange your bottles, right? You're going top or bottom and that's it. And man, we played it in, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, I guess, at the most. We had a 4-player game, and definitely would want to try it at higher player counts for sure. But that was.
I've been able to play it twice around the same count, and it's such a snappy game that, when I talk about it, it does not matter who I've shown it to.
Right.
They're impressed by the combination of the simplicity of the gameplay, but the art, obviously, you get Vincent doing the art, and then we were literally, just for people to give people some perspective, Anthony and I were at an event locally today for our other board game related business stuff. And the vendor we were hanging out with had a copy of Wine Cellar. And I taught someone how to play Wine Cellar actually there just to give them an idea. But then I'm thinking about it, and you've got the art that he has in Luthier, right? So you've got the artist of who did the art in Luthier in Wine Cellar, two such vastly different games, but the art, you think about how both games draws you in. And then you combine that with the gameplay. And so, yeah.
And Andrew's right, and obviously he should be because it's his game, but yes, it's designed for wine-loving non-gamers to bring people into the hobby, and that's exactly where it's going to hit because there are so many of these little niche hobby games, and I don't mean like board game hobby, like other hobbies, right? And so we always say there's a game out there for any hobby, but there are also a lot of crappy games out there for, the so and so in your life. Oh, here's the the pet lover in your life. Oh, here's this little dopey dog game. This is like excellent, right?
But-
like excellence.
But you combine the game. The reason I mentioned the art with the fantastic gameplay is because there are so many games where you could have just tacked on some not bad art, but it didn't have to be what this was, and it just is such a wonderful pairing, and everyone's impressed when they look at it and they want to play it. So, but yeah, I'm with you on that one, and I'm so glad you mentioned that one. It is interesting. We did get to try a lot of different games at this event. I want to talk about one room that we did get to go in, and maybe we can each talk about a game that stood out in it, but we got to go to the Asmodee media room.
Yeah.
I joined there a little bit late from one meeting. You were already at a table. I know the game that's on my mind from that event, but what stood out to you from that Asmodee room? Because we played, we intentionally split up. So you played some different games than me.
Yeah. So, but I mean, to that point, what stood out to me is that honestly, how well the event was run, in my opinion. And Jason, is organizing that. It was, this sort of round robin style setup where there were six different tables set up with a game on each table, someone demoing at each table. And, in addition to him giving us the spiel about each game and who was behind it and all that stuff, we sat down, you just chose where you wanted to play first. And, he literally set a timer of like 25 minutes or something. Timer goes off. All right, you didn't finish the game. We know you're not going to finish the game, but now it's time to get up and go to a different game. You didn't have to go, just to the left table. You go wherever there's another open seat. And so essentially you got to play, see 3 different games in action. Or if you were just kind of walking around, you could see all 6. But it was perfect for us for that reason, right? Because we were able to split up and play 5 out of the 6 games that were there. So really just a well done event. And again, I haven't been to too many of these. I don't know if that's the norm, but it was well done. And I think that's the way that they kind of should be. Plus you get your little sell sheet folder with all the different stuff. So I got to play 3 games there. And ironically, all right, so I played Gretchen's Garden. I believe it's called Gretchen's Garden. I played First Giants, and I played Ghost Galore. Now, typically, the garden theme, or anything to do with plants, is automatically going to be on my radar. It is Gretchen's Garden, yes.
That's why I figured you sat at that table.
Yeah, that's where I started there first. And very, love the artwork on this. Very easy to read. Cards, a la maybe like, Machikoro kind of stuff, color scheme. And basically you're planting, different plants in these, different pots that are not normal pots, like a boot and a suitcase and things like that. And so you can also kind of snip or like cut from other people's plants to kind of propagate that one if you don't have it. And I really did like this. However, out of the 3 that I played, I liked it the least. That doesn't mean I didn't like it. But the other thing that Jason had us do, which was awesome, was upon exiting or signing out, he asked you to rank the 3 that you played by 1, 2, and 3, which one you liked the best and down. So anyway, Gretchen's Gardening, cool, but actually was my number 3. The First Giants game is a pretty cool, like, dinosaur theme, but it's like you're building the exhibit at the museum. Right. And so you're trying to essentially make sets and runs of these different numbered cards. But in doing so, when you complete one, you have this sort of complete fossil, and you even like have these little velvet rope markers that go between them as well. And you're getting those cards by going to these 4 different, like, dig sites, basically putting your token out and taking one of the cards there. Really enjoyed it. And, for another theme that is, pretty prevalent in dinosaurs, this was, a little different with the whole art scheme about it being sort of this display, the museum stuff, and not the actual live dinos running around. I don't think this is out yet all the way. It says, yes, it's work in progress.
And this one, for the record, it's not even on BGG. There's one of the reasons why I'm not showing the images. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I can't show you anything.
No, there's not much to show. Yeah.
I would love to show you visual. I got nothing.
Space Cowboys. So I like that one a lot. I really did. And the third one I got to try there was the Ghost Galore, which was really fun. I'm on like a tile laying kick lately, I feel. And this is kind of that feel where it's not too. See if this is on BGG. Ghost Galore.
Ghost Galore.
Yeah, it's got almost reminiscent of like a
Ghost Galore. We can show. Yes, we
There you
have
go.
something. Yay, victory.
there you go. Yeah. Simple tile laying where you have your own personal 3x3 grid. I think you're technically in like a mine or something. The setting is not super important, but all these tiles are like in stacks face down, and when you're the active player, you just choose which stack you want to be the one that everybody goes through that round. And so you flip over one, and like many other games, you can either take it or kind of like go to the next one, and then you would pass it on to the next person. And all of these have these paths that are going to connect. So you're trying to connect different parts of the outside of the board, like door to door. But also, as you can see, there's all these different monsters that are in your little setup, and they all score or do things in different ways. And so you really, as much as you're doing your own board, you want to pay attention to what other people are working on, what they're keeping, because some of the scoring is like, have the most of these or whatnot. One of those games where you're not going to be able to do all the stuff, but to maximize your points, you can kind of do a lot of the connections there. And the artwork is really cute. And it was a different way to kind of draft the tiles, I guess, than some other things that I'm used to. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, there's a look where you can see the sides.
There we go. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so there's like a couple of specially marked doors that will give you more points if you can connect them. But very simple iconography. It's very clear what the monsters are, and really enjoy this one. I could see myself picking this up when it is totally available, which I can tell you is estimated to be February of 2026.
So, yeah, I want to note that I did get a chance to play a few games in the room, but there's the one that stood out to me that I want to talk about, which is Carnuta. Carnuta, it stood out to me. It had some point salady going on, but it had a little. It felt like a blend of what I love in Splendor. Even though like Splendor's gotten old on me, it took the part I love about Splendor, and it had point salady scoring. And to give you a perspective on it, this isn't a look at how the best look at how it will be on the board, but consider that you're going to have those spots in the middle. So you see those two different piles of cards, which are based on the two different types of stones. You've got the sun and you got that moon. Your board is going to start like you see there with two suns, two moons, and then two available spots. Those get activated after you have X amount of cards in your tableau. So you're going to be able to get more of these stones. And you're going to flip over these or discard them as part of the cost of playing these cards. You can always take a card. You have essentially two actions. You could take card and play a card. You've got a variety of ways you can go about this. But then they have a scoring functionality where you're going to get 3 points for every one of these, or 2 points for every pair of these. So the scoring is going to be on the bottom of those cards, but then you have to consider the costs. But it's got that splendor factor that I like, which is if you have one of these cards, you've got the symbol that it now represents one of these particular things, which makes some of those more affordable for you down the line in terms of the scoring and some other things. So it was really smooth. And for me, this was a game that I immediately was like, oh, I want this. I mean, I knew it right in that moment. So it stood out. And I was coming off of another game, which I will backtrack and I'll add the description in, but it was a much larger game and we didn't really get to dive in. So it's
I remember Jason prefacing that. I think it was actually before you came, that you're probably not going to get a good feel for it for the limited time that you have.
I was intrigued by it, and so I'll talk about it more when I have a chance to maybe dig a little bit deeper, there was a lot of cool things in it. There was one other game we didn't get to play. Arwen, I know, did, who was obviously on before, and I'd be intrigued by that one because that was a card game. But honestly, it was a really great event, and to your point, it was very well run. I've been in some of these rooms before. This was incredibly well organized. I did leave with a beanie, which made me happy too. I'm not gonna lie. I have another beanie in the collection. But there's some games we will be trying from them. I know that we are going to be getting a junior version of Splendor to the table, which is something that you'll be able to look forward to coverage of early January. Probably we'll be able to get around to that. So something you'll be able to learn a little bit more about. It was getting played a lot, but that was one that I know we're going to get a chance to play now, which I'm pretty excited about.
I can tell you one that we got from them that I already played, if you want to bring that up.
Hit me.
This is called Super Meow. I believe that's what it's called. Super Meow. Super Meow. Let me grab it. I think I can reach it without knocking something over.
Super Meow is right here.
Ding.
Is this Super Meow?
Super Meow is essentially my first deck builder. And it's got this, if I can open it, it's got this box that slides
like this.
Then, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
And so a couple things happen here. This slide part, the cover part, you're going to stand up now, and this is your garbage can. So if you trash a card, that's your part of your starting deck, it would go in here. So much like deck builders, you get a starting hand, but in this game, it's like 2 cards, I think. So you're not getting overwhelmed with, 10 cards or whatever. Because again, this is like an intro to how to do this kind of mechanism. The other part of the box, you can see that picture, you turn upside down, and this becomes basically the market. So there's these clear colored sections where you're going to put those respective cards to match up. And then this little like extra bank market thing goes on the corner there. And it just, artistically, it's cool. It just all kind of fits together. And so you also get this player sheet, which, again, is all about kind of teaching you what this deck building genre is about. And they use these are your hands. Literally, they have a picture of the hands on the top because your hand is always going to be 2 cards. Another, more simple thing than a typical game. And then the like washing machine is where you're going to put like the ones that you've used, and then your bag is your deck.
I love the visual there.
It's really perfect. It's got the comic book feel, but it makes sense when you're teaching this. The parallels of these make sense with what deck building is about. And basically, very simply, you win the game if you just have in front of you. So again, you're always going to have 2 cards out. So you win the game if you have a cape and a cat to make Super Meow. Got to have a cat.
There you go.
Cape on.
So you're all building up to get to Super Meow.
Right. And so you're basically going to be using some money to buy things like the cape, which as you can see is 5 coins. So it's pretty expensive. However, to get a cat in your deck, you can't buy a cat straight up. You have to buy this fish to attract the cat first. So you've got to have fish in your hand as well to be able to even add the cat to your deck.
That's clever.
Really, really clever. They really did a great job on this as, like I said, as like an intro to deck building. I'm really impressed. And, again, super clear on what the cards, are and do. Let me see if I can find here's your starting cards. You get 4 starting cards. You get 2 1s and 2 2s. And so part of the thing you can do on your turn, if you don't want to add a card, is you can trash a card. Okay. You trash these cards that go in that little garbage can thing. So, it teaches you how to thin out your deck, how to optimize what's in there, increase your odds of getting those 2 particular cards out to win the game. And that's pretty much it. I was I was impressed. I was able to teach it to my 6-year-old. A couple turns in, we just got it.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, that's what you want to know, that it does the interest, and especially because a lot of times I've taught deck building in particular, or with like summer camp or something like that.
Sure.
This a little bit of a different approach, obviously, but I like the way that this seems to teach it. Very interesting to me.
Yeah, great small box, stocking stuffer, folks. I mean, I'm assuming it's available. I shouldn't have done that though.
I believe so. I believe so. I mean, it's that technically 2023 release on that one. Now, one of the other things we got to do, Anthony, and again, just a friendly reminder, call-board.com if you want to be part of a show. If you want to call in, we would love to talk to you, whether you attended the show or not. If you saw something from afar and just want to talk about, I saw this and it looked really cool, that's awesome too. Feel free to also continue to all that conversation we see in the chat. We absolutely love it. This is our favorite event of the year. This is our big event of the year. And as we always say, PAX Unplugged will drive content for us for the next 2 months because we have so much stuff that we need to do after the fact. Anthony, one of the things we got to do, and it's always a really popular thing for me, I always have a great time. Last year, we got to check out Twinkle Twinkle. This year, we got to try Mountain Goats Legacy. We played
Mountain
2 hours.
Goats Legacy, you say? How could that be a thing?
We got to do this for 2 hours, approximately, just under. We played 4 sessions, so essentially 4 games. And yeah, I have to tell you, yes, it's a legacy game, but completely resettable, go through. There is a part of this game that as you're playing, it's going to set you off in different directions with different. So you could play one way one time and make a decision that means the next time you do it, you're going to experience something different, which is really cool. So you're going to have at least 2 unique plays at minimum, right? In terms of that experience, but I'd argue there's always going to be that variety. You could also replay any of the things individually as they are.
Sure.
But it adds a lot of different things in. It adds I don't want to say it adds a major complexity to it, though I will say the 4th round that we played was making my brain think a lot more than I've ever thought in Mountain Goats before. But
I also feel like that was emphasized a little bit because we had played 3 scenarios right before that too. Like if you just sat down and that's what you played, it still, would be a little messy, but probably a little less stressful.
No, they built it up well. I really enjoyed this, and it was one of these things where the little changes, these little tweaks to the game, and the one thing that they have is, so they've got that thick cardboard, which we've seen in a few other things. I think we saw it in Tariki, as I've mentioned, from Lucky Duck games, where you're popping out the pieces that you're using, but they slot right back in.
Go back in.
So it's very resettable in that way, which is great. And you're popping them out, and they're coming on to maybe onto the board or somewhere else, and they're impacting the game. I'm going to encourage people to get a chance to try this themselves. I don't want to give too much away, but I want to say that I really enjoyed this. And if you like Mountain Goats, you're definitely going to like this. But it does some things with Mountain Goats that changes the game a little bit for me that I think if you didn't like Mountain Goats because you want a little bit more, well, this definitely adds a little more. So it might change your mind on Mountain Goats for you a little bit if you've actually have a chance to try this.
Yeah,
I was impressed. I'll be honest, because I didn't know what to expect. I just saw Mountain Goats Legacy and said, Anthony, I signed us up for Mountain Goats Legacy.
Right. And everyone that we've said that to has the same reaction. Like, what is that?
Right.
It almost sounds like an April Fool's joke, but I really, really enjoyed. They did a very nice job in adding a narrative element to a pretty basic game, and but a great game, one of my favorites, and it's one that I teach often. Is very approachable.
Yeah.
It's nice looking. It's nice that this one is in a bigger box, I will say. As much as I love the all play little square boxes, sometimes that could be a little tricky to put everything back. But it almost feels like, and I'm gonna say something that doesn't really make any sense. It almost feels like this is a junior version of Mountain Goats. And I say that it doesn't make sense because it's if anything, it's adds complexity to it, right? Albeit
Right.
minor. It's not a dumbed down version of a game, but because it adds that narrative element, and now the goats are characters and there's voices and things like that, and there's decisions to be made, but they're simple decisions, right? You have a choice. You want this or that. This, all right, go to this page and read it. This, go to that page and read it. That's it. But it adds enough nuance to the game that it breathes this new life into it that I didn't really think could be a thing, and it is. So I'm very, very much looking forward to the final product of this.
I will be looking forward to play the final product in the full version for sure.
100%. 100%.
And I think it makes me think of, say, My Little Alchemist, where you're stepping up and it's getting a little bit more challenging as you go, but it very much introduces it to you. And then it gets more complicated. Then it does this. Then it does that. Oh, we're going to branch this way. And you don't branch necessarily right away. Like, they give you a chance to start before the branching begins. And then, so you have some choice in there. But I again, impressed. If you don't mind, Anthony, I will take this opportunity to talk a little bit about All Play, because with All Play, one, I had a chance to kind of observe. This is going to be a review copy that we are going to play more thoroughly, but Alibis I'm excited to play because it strikes that Codenames vibe for me, where but you're going to have two characters that are yours. You're not going to know who everyone else has. You're going to be trying to connect the dots between them, and ultimately with word clues make that happen so you can all figure out who is the actual the person cooperatively that we're trying to figure out who that actual character is. There's such interesting characters graphically in this, but it's a word game. I love them. So this is one that we're going to be covering. But I picked up Runes. I'm very excited about Runes. I did play some though. And so I want to talk about the ones I did play. Three Witches, first and foremost. Trick-taking game. You're going to hear about trick-taking from me because I played a lot of trick-taking. And by the way, Arwen pointing out that Alibis has supplanted Codenames for me.
All right, I'm down for that.
And I'm not surprised by that because honestly, just watching watching some people play it in our hotel where I had a great conversation with them, and I was into it. Three Witches. We play this with 3 players, and because there's 3 witches, and you're going to essentially have one person who becomes the lead witch, and then there's going to be 2 other witches who are going to get points by not allowing the lead witch to win, essentially. And what's really cool about this game is there's ultimately going to be a winner when a certain player has reached, I believe it was 5 points. But you are at a certain point in this game, which I found fascinating, almost trying to not help someone win. Like, you're thinking about, I don't necessarily want us to win, because that means, so you're playing strategically, all well thinking, I don't know if I want them to win. Okay, but then this gets over them a certain amount. You're going to determine who is the lead witch, because there's a process in the beginning.
Yeah, so that's
what we're going to say, how many we're going to win,
right?
And then ultimately, so you can fight to try to become that lead witch by saying, I'm going to win more. And then you may have your hand forced, like, crap, I need to win. I got to be the lead witch. How am I going to pull this off? And then be trying to find a way to do it. There's a lot going on in this little box. This sold out.
There's multiple suits, but not the same amount of each suit. The values are different. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on in a very small box. Yeah, you're right. This was maybe the first one of titles that they sold out on day one.
And I'm realizing I don't have it up, so it's not on here, but I'll just try to hold this up just so people see. If you could see here, on this, and I'll make myself full screen so you can actually see it. If you see here, this is an example of the fact that there are only so many suits of only so many colors. And so those numbers are different. And it is a tricky game. I liked it. It's part of their tricky series in their small box series. And appropriately, I love this. There is a reason this sold out on day one, as far as I'm concerned. But Anthony, it's not the only trick taker I played from them. I also played, and I don't know if Greg or anyone else are in the chat tonight who I got a chance to play with, but But also, I'm realizing this box has a nice shine to it. Torchlit. Okay. Now, I know this was on the indie market under a different name, I believe, last year, if I'm not mistaken. Torchlit, what was cool to me about this is you are going to predict how many dungeons you're going to get to go through. And let me see if this one is actually on BGG now. This one is fantastic. All right. I want to give you all a visual. So you're going to be predicting how deep in the dungeon you're going to go. What door are you going to get to? This is important to point out. If I get past 7, I go back to 0. Now, wherever I land, I'm going to get points for the monsters that end up below, which you have some say in. There is some control there. But the other thing that's happening is moving through the dungeon does not necessarily mean I won the trick. So Anthony plays, say, a 0 blue, because we see a 0 blue on the board. Say I don't have any more blue left, but I play an orange 0. They wouldn't be below for the record in this particular scenario if I did that, but just bear with me. I matched the number of bleed suit, so therefore I'm going to move forward 1. It doesn't matter if Anthony wins that trick or not. Okay. It does not matter. I will move forward 1. So I have an ability to move without winning a trick, which I think is incredibly important. It played really smooth as we in this one. You're going to be able to get the points if you hit the number of tricks you won. Plus, you're getting points for the monsters below. There's this wild monster that's worth 2 points. The rest are worth 1. It played smooth. This was one of my favorites from the event. It's not my favorite game I played at the event, but is one of my favorites. This was one I picked up for myself because I thought it would sell out. And you know what? It did sell out. So those were both all play games. And then last but not least, I also picked this one up, Anthony. And do you remember last year we got a review copy of Panda Panda? Panda Panda. So Alcadelia had said to me, you like Panda Panda, you're going to like Llama Llama. I said, okay, I trust Alcadelia. She's amazing, wonderful to work with. So I said, Llama Llama. Picked it up. Yeah, I love it. I definitely, if you have 4 people, I would play this over Panda Panda. Okay. In particular, I don't necessarily love the dummy mechanic that exists if you play with less than 4, because it just feels like it's not as smart. It's more randomized. But if I have 4 people, I'm playing Llama Llama over Panda Panda. You're going to have the coolest part about this game is the fact that, and I'll bring this up here. Llama Llama. The coolest thing that I like about this game is we're going to get a hand of 8 cards, and there's not much to see here, but you'll get the idea. You're going to get a hand of 8 cards. There's going to be rounds 1 through 4. The goal is to also, the goal is going to get the first to be 100 points. If you see in first round, you pass 4 cards. Second round, you're going to pass 3. You can't see that here. Third round, you pass 2. Next one, you pass 1. Then you restart, you do another set of rounds. What's going to happen is you're going to choose to play a goal card randomly. It's going to be face down. They are going in the first round. That'll come up randomly on the first one. And we're going to say, okay, the first goal is if you get A, B, C, D, E, D, F, G, it's worth 50 points. Problem, there's only one G. So not only one person can get that goal. Once you go through and the first kind of round goes through and you go through, all 4 passes, what's going to happen is I'm saying rounds, but just say do a series of 4 turns each with each of those passes. Once you do that, you look at the score. Whoever's in first is going to actually put on the first spot for the next round. The whoever in second puts on the second spot, etc. You know what your scoring is, but you don't know what anyone else's is. My son, when we played this game, scored 150 points in the last round because he got that first one, and 3 of us put the A goal down.
That's awesome.
And demolished it. Llama Llama is gonna be a hit at the table for me. I like Panda Panda if it's 3 people, because I don't love the dummy deck that I'm pulling in between personally. But at 4 people, this one is smooth as butter. And I like it. So,
nice.
Yeah, that is Llama Llama. That's all the all play games. Again, we are going to have that full coverage, just so people know, of alibis. That is one that'll be forthcoming. Haven't played it yet. I only got to watch it played, but I'm very excited for it. And I think it's one that you and I will enjoy. It'll be, I think, again, it's wordplay, and I enjoy those quite a bit. So excited to get that one to the table. But
Excellent.
that's the all play lineup for you all. A lot of good ones played from all play every year. I will note, you know how that they have the giant section over there, and if you didn't go from there, I was also able to get over to, just so you know, so if people want to know more, I did get to play Rebel Zombies, which is unrelated, but it was in one of the big play areas. I love Rebel Princesses. Rebel Zombies I might like better. And I did get to play a full round and a half. I might actually like Rebel Zombies better. So I'm backing that. I'm just going to tell people. You want to know more about it? Happy to add, happy to share more. But yeah, that was a big one for me. Yeah, Zombie Princess. Zombie Princess. That is what I'm talking about. And for Zombie Princess, I said Princess Zombie. Zombie Princess, just so you know, 2026 release.
There probably is a game called Princess Zombie.
Yeah, there probably is Princess Zombie. Zombie Princess does play differently. I thank Dan for correcting that, though. Still have powers, still have all those abilities, but it is a new twist. If you have a chance to play this, I will say I think it's a touch up in complexity over Rebel Princess. I don't mean in a big way. I just mean I wouldn't have Zombie Princess be the first trick taker they play. That's all I'm saying. Personal perspective. But it was great, and I agree with the best at 4 already, just because I can tell you it's going to be highly interactive. But that was a run for those all plays. Friendly reminder, call-board.com if you do want to call in. I know there was a few people who told me they might be joining us closer to 10:30 tonight. So going to talk for some more games. Anthony, anything else on your mind that you had a chance to try out? Because we did have a few other games played for sure. I know I played like 30 games this weekend. So
I had a chance to play a game with Dr. J in the First Look area called 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is from, I believe, an Italian designer, if I'm not mistaken.
May not be here.
Or maybe Spanish.
Is this it right here? No. That's not it, is it? No, definitely not it.
I can't see
probably
that
not going to be. No, it's definitely not. Probably not on BGG yet, but
maybe not.
Let's talk about it.
It's a, I guess it's kind of a flip and right. What's cool about it has 2 sheets, and one of the sheets represents the surface of the ocean. The other one is below the ocean. And so as you're moving your sub around, as part of your movement, you can go up or down. But as the turns go on, you're going to be adding stuff to the map, like treasure, other boats, treasures, whales, all kinds of other random stuff. So your board's going to get more crowded and, not be as manageable to kind of move around in. It's got this cool, simultaneous, selection round where there's these 3 different captains, which they're not named, but I think one of them is supposed to be Captain Nemo and one is maybe whatever. It's not important. There's going to be those 3 and then a couple of cards to choose from that are surface and then the underwater ones, and everyone's going to reveal which captain they're basically utilizing that round. And in the way that, so we play 2 players with a third sort of dummy player, so I don't know what the gameplay is normally, but basically if we pick the same thing, there was a chance that you would take damage in your sub. Very, very unique style game, and really was intrigued by this. Definitely on my radar to pick up when it is available over here. No, I don't think Kirk Douglas is one of them. I think one of them might have been Leif Erikson, and then I forget who the third person was. But this was good. This was a good one. Again, looking for ways that take a well-known sort of maybe overused mechanic and do something a little bit different with it. I was certainly impressed. I know Dr. J enjoyed that one as well, for sure.
In that same room, I had a chance to play one as well, and that was the Battle of the Divas, which I
Yeah.
picked up as well. I don't want to claim I picked up all the details on this game, but I just want people to visually see how stunning this game looks. It is Salt and Pepper Games, so I by default it's going to be great looking. But this game in particular, see if I can find a better overview. Well, here you kind of see a good look here. You've got to have all the different opera. You've got to have New York, Metropolitan, etc. But then you've got this really cool action happening on the top where you're actually trying to extend the keys so you have a wider range, which allows you to do more significant actions during the game. There was still a lot that I have to pick up in this game, but in terms of asymmetric, they do so asymmetric 2-player games. They do it so well. I'm incredibly excited. We only got a chance to play. Tyler and I had a chance to do this. We played probably about 20 minutes, picked up the core concepts and moved on to some other things. But I am excited to dig into this one just because it was to me a really engaging experience from limited experience I had. But there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening that I wanted to dig in further. So I bought it, but I will say it was already purchased because at this time I think we sent one of our community members that you already mentioned, Dr. J. Dr. J had already grabbed it for me. So I already said I definitely want to pick this up. This was on my list, right? So Battle of the Divas, and I will just say Salt and Pepper Games. I mean, you want to talk about gems. Leviathan Wilds, I know Ryan's talked a ton about. Resist is great. Witchcraft is great. Watergate is one of my top 20 for the past few years. So gems, I knew it was an easy purchase. It was a very easy purchase. So I am looking forward to playing that one. Can I ask you, Anthony?
Yeah, before you ask me a question, I did find the BGG page for 20,000 Leagues.
Oh,
how did I? So I'm going to share my screen, I think.
Yep, go for it. Let me take mine down.
If I can figure out how. Oh, here we go. I did it. Yeah. Can you guys see that? Yeah.
There it is.
All right. So yeah, there's those two dual sheets I was talking about. The track along the top where those letters are written, those are the captains that you're choosing each round. So that keeps your basically the time of the game as well. And then, yeah, as you can see, there are some drawings there. So there's other ships that are going to come out, which you can attack. And then there's ways to score for seaweed and things like that. Because basically at the end of the game, depending on how many times you chose each of those captains, they do. I think they all do an end game scoring thing. I could be mistaken that maybe one of them didn't, but it definitely did come into play at the end of the game. In addition to, you'll see in the bottom left page, you have these crew members, and if they last, if you don't lose them throughout the game, you'll get those points as well. But again, there's some attacks from Kraken and things like that. So sometimes you do lose some crew members, but there's a nice shot of those two sheets there. Very cool. Definitely want to pick this one up.
I love the look and feel of this though. It seems like it's got some crunchiness to it.
Yeah, it was just enough crunch, like we were talking about that mid-level, like above a very basic, but not super duper involved. Nice sweet spot, I think.
Oh, I like it.
The blank and right category. All right, go ahead. What's your question?
No, so I'm intrigued. And I wanted to point out, just so people know, there are some games just kind of sitting behind me. I'm not going to talk much about them, but we got Lost Ruins of Arnak expansion. We have Wispwood here. We have SETI. We have Tamagotchi collection. We have Fire in the Library. Those are games we're going to get to. It's kind of hard to make them out. But yeah, when it comes down to it, I just want to acknowledge, and I want to just, again, thank everybody for giving us that chance to get through the table. I have a copy. I actually have Fire in the Library on the table right now in solo mode. I can't say much about it just yet because I haven't got to truly dig in, but I'm enjoying it thus far. And I got told Quacks vibes. So I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I'll like that. I know, and it looks like Nerf Fist board game in the chat has one that I know you played, and that he's got 4 doors. And look at that. Gingham, did you not?
Gingham. I
You
did.
played Gingham, did you not?
I did. I also played this with Dr. J in the first look, along with a third player who we just met. And I ended up purchasing it because I really, really dug it. This is, an abstract strategy game where you're playing as ants, trying to basically control and grab these sweets that have been left out on the picnic basket. And yeah, it just there was it's funny. I bought that. I bought Propolis. There's the bug theme, I guess, this year for me, but really enjoyed this one. So you're going to be basically taking turns picking one row to place your queen pawn in, and then deploy an ant, straight down that path. With a caveat that you can bump other ants off if they're in that spot already, but you also can't go past the midpoint. So you'll see there's a sort of seam in the middle. Yes, it's very thematic, and you can't go past the seam on that side. But on the next round, you will be placing your queens on the other, two sides there. So you're always going to be going back and forth. A little hard to see the colors, I will say, difference between those two. Just my observation. I don't have a problem with it in general, but I can see how some people would.
The photo I loved. When it's the
yes
the cube, because I saw this before, and I think you even talked to me about it, and so I'm excited to actually get to play this because
I think you're gonna like this one too. It's like I said, it's really strategic. You're trying to do a couple things. You're trying to make continuous pathways of ants, which again makes perfect sense. If you surround completely on all the squares of those particular treats, you can sort of claim them. But if you put, so there's all these different types of treats, and then each player has in their color one of those treats as well, because you're going to be stacking them as you connect them and making them a higher piles. But once you claim it, like that's it. So if you put your cupcake on a stack of cupcakes, you're done with that. And then there's a couple other end game things that I'm forgetting, but there's also this mechanism where once a treat is removed from its starting spot, it gets replaced with these sugar cubes. And so the sugar cubes act as a sort of currency. You see in that picture right there, they let you do these special actions, which essentially, break the game in certain ways. One of them is you can go across the seam that turn or whatever. But then as you buy these things, it's like a fluctuating market. So, the ones will move down. Thus, the cost is going to change for those abilities throughout the game as well. There was a deluxe version of this. I did not, splurge on that. I didn't feel like I really needed it, although maybe someday I'll get the upgrade. But really enjoyed Gingham. Like I said, played it, saw it demoed real quick, played it, and then ended up buying it. I think you'll like this one too.
Yeah, I love that little play mat. Everything about this looks cute and adorable. And
there's two different linen cloths play mats, because one is just for 2 players, the other's 3 to I guess 4. I don't know if it's 4 or 5.
So they went for a balance with there's a specific 2-player.
Yeah,
plays slightly different a 2-player, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's a little tighter board.
No, I dig it. I like it. Let's talk 2-player with a game that I know you described watching me play this. I forget the exact words you used, but you said you knew I liked it. So I got to mention this one. You know what I'm talking about. This one is from Capstone Games, designed by Jason Hager and Darren Recker. And let me just say, this was my game of the con.
Yeah,
we got to play this at an awesome event on Thursday night, and I got to play game full through. And then I my brain that night, by the time I must have been exhausted. So when I was trying to teach someone this, some of the stuff was like, I'm like, wait a minute, is this the thing? But it's actually not complicated at all, which is the crazy part. But Howdy Partners. Let's talk about Howdy Partners.
Rowdy.
Because Howdy Partners
I thought it was Rowdy Partners.
Rowdy. I'm saying howdy. Oh my God. I like to say howdy. It is Rowdy. Rowdy Partners 2025
Princess
game.
Zombie.
So Rowdy Partners, let me get a good visual. This will do. Because I want you to get a sense of some of the things that happen here. So Rowdy Partners, first and foremost, with Rowdy Partners, you are going to have in this game, you can do 2 or 3 players. It plays differently at 2 and 3 because there's different wrestlers who have a manager, as opposed to when you have 4 players, you have clear tag teams. So slightly different player boards, and they have specific boards for each of those. If I was going to do a 3-player game of this, someone would have a specific one of the 3 specific characters who could have a manager added to them, and the other would play the traditional tag team style. I really like this when it was a 2 versus 2 with the tag teams because you had these corresponding things happening. Because if you look at this photo, you're going to see there's a crosshair between these two tag partners where the cube is going to go one side back over and keep moving up. These wrestlers have different abilities that are going to be important, and you're going to want to move that up. When you win a trick in this game, you become the active wrestler, which means you're the one who takes damage because you have a damage track. Here's the cool thing. And before I get into how the card play on the trick taking this works, the neat thing about this is when you get your character down to 1 damage, to like nearly pinned, and they're on the 1, they have to get beat by at least 1 in terms of the power of a trick. Then they have to be beat by at least 2. Then they have to be beat by at least 3. If they don't, they aren't pinned in those moments because it's simulating 1, 2, 3 wrestling. Tag moves are awesome. There's ways you can quickly tag someone in when they didn't win the trick. There's all these different things you can do. Here's what's cool. You're playing the cards down, say to lead the trick. If I'm leading the trick, my teammate is going to go 4th. If I'm not leading the trick and they're not leading the trick, we're going 2nd and 3rd. And that depends on the order of who last won a trick and who was last in the ring. That's how we're going to know that. The little thing actually flips over. It's really cool. You put the pieces in and it flips over and you kind of see that. What's great about this one, and I wonder if there's a better one, so I'm just going to take a quick look at the images, but as you look at the board itself, so here's an example. There's ways to add additional damage, etc., onto what you're doing, but the lower card wins. Meaning, if I played lead with a yellow 1, and you had a yellow, you have to follow and play. But I know I'm going to win with the 1. But I'm only doing 1 damage with the yellow 1. If I am able to get a 6 down and somehow have it win, boom. But that seems hard, right? Well, here's the thing. As you play this game, and this is a great look because you can see that up in the top of that, how those can kind of flip around and flip over. As you play, if I don't have a card, so I don't necessarily have to follow the suit that you led with, and I play the same number, the cards flip over. Meaning whatever the earliest in it is now the lead suit. So now there's a chance that 6 could win, hypothetically, or that 7 or that higher number can win. And if you do 8 damage, smack, oh my God, like it's like, oh crap, that sucks. And then you definitely want to get your partner tagged in and they got to win a trick, or you're going to have to use one of your tokens that you might have. Each wrestler also has abilities, or they might be able to do more damage. It is so ripe for more. So I love it. And it's also ripe for more. Like, give me more wrestlers, give me more people to tag in. This was it. And Dan is not wrong about this for me. Trick taking, there was so many good trick takers happening. I loved it. This one stood out to me. I really enjoyed this one. And when it comes down to it, yeah, this one is going to be played quite a bit. And like I said, you can play it at 2, 3, or 4. Just slight variances because you've got slightly bigger characters with bigger kind of ability to take damage, and they've got a manager who does certain things, but they all combine differently with different characters. the one that I was playing on Saturday night in particular, I will say we had no ability to tag out. And so it didn't really matter. I mean, I miscued at one point because when you win if I won a trick, I was in front, but if someone else had won a trick, I wouldn't be. But I don't actually think I miscued because, quite frankly, pretty sure that I won most of the tricks, which would have kept me in the ring, which meant I took all this damage because I took like a 7 damage. Jeremy Howard actually did a whammo to me at like 1:50 in the morning, and I was just knocked out. So, I'm gonna come back, Jeremy. We're gonna have a round 2. But yeah, it was a great time. I love this one. This stood out to me, and I will definitely be having this hit the table. And it was this one I do want to point out was a review copy. We had a chance to attend their event where I got taught this directly, and had a chance to talk with designer and all these things. So love it. I will get probably even more thorough about this at some point, but you saw my reaction as I was playing it.
Yeah,
You
no,
watched me in real
100%.
time.
Yeah, you were smitten.
I
And
was smitten,
yeah,
yeah.
I wish I played this too, Dan. So we'll get it done.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. We will make it happen. So we are rocking through some great games here tonight. We wanted to give you as thorough of a review as we could, as we always try to do with this episode. Anthony, anything else standing out to you? I know we've covered a good portion on the review side. I don't know if I'm missing anything.
I'll just quickly mention some of the review copies that I have over here on my table that are going to go through eventually. One that we played a couple times, actually. We have Seashells from KTG.
Oh, yes. We should talk about Seashells for
We
sure.
can bring that up. Because we did play that. And then quickly, other ones that we haven't gotten to yet. We talked about Splendor Kids.
Yep.
We have Take Time as well to check out.
Yes.
Forest Shuffle, Dartmoor, and what is this one? Oh, sorry, I can't see this one.
Take Time. This is one that you may have
Don't
seen.
Work
We have
Cardio.
not.
Yeah.
We have definitely not had a chance to play this. It was on demo. I've seen a lot of people with this.
Yeah, this was. It's a lot too. I heard a lot of people talking about this.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It looks really neat, and so I'm excited by this one, for sure. And we got a caller in the wings that we're going to jump to in a second. Am I missing any that we wanted to show? I know we'll talk about Seashells for sure because I've played Seashells like 5 times already, so I've got a lot of thoughts on Seashells. With that, Anthony, I'm going to bring in a friend Barack and see what he had a chance to play. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
Good. Yeah, I apologize if I'm going to repeat anything. I just finished a podcast record for myself, and so I don't know what you guys have talked about yet. But
we talked about a lot, but I know one game that you'd love to talk about has not come up. I will say.
All right, that's good. Yeah.
Well,
the first thing I'll shout out is I spent the majority of my money at the discount shelves this year. I came home with 81 games, which was a lot, but I'm very excited by all of them. But I found 2 discount shelves. There was the one in the front by the free play area from Battleground Games.
Did you get in that early? Because that was like a line.
So Saturday and Sunday, I got there for like rope drop sort of charge. And the other, if I went usually like in the evening or post dinner, like I never waited beyond when it turned the corner. I wouldn't get in line if it was past that, but in front of the corner, it would take me anywhere from 45 to an hour and a half to get through the whole line and the checkout. But there was that one, and then there was another spot in the expo hall for Nerd Mall, which is somewhere in South Jersey, and they were selling all discount clearance games too. But
very cool, very cool.
But there was one game that I bought at full price at PAX Unplugged this year, and that was Chemical Overload.
We did not talk about that.
So I had found this on BGA and I played it a bunch. It is a deck building, tableau building, chemical based game. And I find it to be so fun. You're collecting, you start with a small hand of basic chemical potions. And your turn, you have 2 actions per turn, and you can either collect more potions or you can gain a coin, or you can then use those coins to collect the flasks to build your potions, or you can actually create a potion, and there's always 10 potions available on the board, which give you like more powerful cards. So it's a very basic, like there's a market, very basic deck builder. There's a market, there's a cost engine, but I find it to be a lot of fun. And so I was hemming and hawing through the weekend for most of the first half of the weekend, and then I realized I'm going to probably buy this, so I should just go and buy it now. And
Just
then
go do it now.
yeah, just buy it now. So I bought the deluxe version because it comes with player boards, which I think are really helpful to have. And so I got the deluxe version, and then we went to the free play area and we opened up and played around. And for first time players, I'd say it takes about an hour and a half to play. I think the box says 45 to 75 minutes or something like that. And I think if everybody knows the game, you can get it to an hour, I would assume, and just under. But
I played this in very early going and online, which was part of the problem because I am really bad at like all of those. If it's not Board Game Arena and I have to like drag and drop, like I'm clunky at it. I'm not good at it. So I played it and I remember, and I did really enjoy it. It did a lot of really cool things with deck building that I enjoyed, and just upgrading the cards, etc. I thought it executed it really well, and it was an interesting theme. It's really cool to see how far it's come, because I feel like that was 3 years ago when I had a chance to try it. So
I was talking to the designers, and they said it's been a little over 3 years for their efforts. And when they started, and not if this is the one that you saw, they said they started with, I think, like 1,000 different cards or something.
It was a lot. It was a lot. It was overwhelming.
Yeah,
I remember.
So this box, I think, is like 500 something cards, and so the expansion Entropy, which is coming out next year, will be the other 500 something cards.
Okay,
and so they split it out that way.
So they're still going to have that stuff, but it's just not in the core box, which candidly,
there's enough there. Like the core box has, I don't know how many different potions, but it's a lot of different potions, like probably over 30 or so different potions for you to place on the board in the market.
Yeah, and it's neat if I remember, because the different flasks, you have all the different types of flasks to align as needed, and it was pretty.
It's well done. I think the BGA play is a little bit easier because it helps you know when you've taken your 2 official actions, because as you gain more cards, those cards give you free actions, and so you have to remember, did I do my 2 basic actions yet? Or are these all just power moves that I've done? So at some point you can have 10 actions in your turn, but only 2 of them are the base actions that you're allowed to do. But all the other cards in your tableau pieces are allowing you to gain coins or draw more cards or remove cards or whatever you want to do. But and then the other piece that BGA does for you that it was nice to see in person is when you make a potion with a green border, it's poisoned, or there's a toxic. It's a toxic level. And so every time you gain one of those, the toxic level goes up. When it gets to the top, that's when the game trigger is that's when the end game trigger happens. And so you don't get to feel that in BGA, it just sort of does it for you. So that was nice to see that happen. Yeah. It was a great game.
Yeah, no, I know you had talked about this a little bit, and so it was neat to see. I walked by it in person. Visually, it grabs your attention, and it's come a long way.
Yeah, there was usually a crowd at that booth, if I recall.
They had 2 booths. They ended up having they had a booth with a lot of other designers. I forget what they called it, somewhere in the middle. And so there was a few different games going that a few designers came together to purchase this space. And then they ended up grabbing another one on the side where they had some tables for demos. When I was talking to him, I'm like, oh, my friends really want me and my friends want to play this in person. Like, when's a good time? It's like, the tables are always busy, like, and we don't have a reserved schedule. So you just have to hope that it's available. And that's when I went, all right, I'll just buy the game. Like, I don't want to come over and hope for a table and then not get to play it this weekend.
Yeah, it's probably the right move, and you'll play it. So there you go.
I already have. I've already opened it and taken off the shelf. And
nice.
The deluxe pieces are very nice. It's got a really beautiful metal first player token. A lot of good stuff. Yeah.
Love it. Anything else stood out to you this year? In particular that just, whether a game, an experience, whatever it might be?
Man, here's what I'll say. I did a short demo of Chicken Fried Dice, which isn't out yet.
Oh, we talked about this. I want to hear your
we
take
kicked
on
the
this.
show off talking about that
Oh,
one.
you did? You guys already talked about this one?
Talk
about
again,
it.
man.
We
Talk.
loved it.
Yeah, I loved it. And to me, like I'm not a huge fan of roll and writes, and so I was curious about it just because the name is beautiful. It's a great grabbing. I love good puns, and this is a great pun. So the cooking element, I enjoyed that side of it. The thing that really grabbed me was the engine building concept. I don't know if it's called an engine, like when you have the ability to upgrade all these different parts of your food truck. Reminded me very much of Taverns of Tiefenthal, which I absolutely love. So the fact that there's elements of this van that you can upgrade, which allow you to do different things, that's what this reminds me of. And so to have the dice roll, like I'm a big fan of this. I can't wait for this one to come out and be available. Like I only got to get a taste of it. But I was a fan of this one too.
Yeah,
I'm
this one's going to be a hit for sure.
Yeah,
I'm so
absolutely.
glad you mentioned Taverns of Tiefenfall because that was my feeling with the little module changes.
Yeah,
and that game is built on those. I mean, you play that game, the base game without even the expansion has like 4 or 5 modules in it. So
yeah.
This does that very thing, which is so cool.
Yeah, Taverns is one of me and my wife's favorite games. I got the last year at PAX, I got the folded space inserts for it, and so now setup and takedown is even easier.
Nice.
But so that's when I was playing, when I demoed this, that's what sort of stood out for me. Yeah, that was another one.
And Chris, by the way, Chris Porter of Chris Couch Games. So I'm super interested in this one too. It's been on the buzz for a while, and I bet the crowdfunding campaign is
I think so. Absolutely. Yeah. I tried to stop at Chris's booth and it was always busy. I could never get to the front to like get the closed demo of it. So I'm hoping I haven't played any of his games yet. So hopefully soon.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely be talking about Holiday Hills in the future again and a bunch of other things too. So stay tuned for that, everybody.
Yeah.
And thanks for calling in, being part of it. Always it's been great. Love hearing about everyone's PAX experience. So thank you for sharing that with us. It's awesome that you mentioned chicken fried dice. Like I know we talked about it earlier, but it's awesome that that did resonate. I think that's the type of thing that's cool to see, that like it did hit with so many people. So
can I mention one more thing that stood out for me?
Oh, go for it.
I'm going to give another shout out to a different board game YouTuber. So Jeff Kornberg at the Dragon's Tomb does a learn to play every year at Unplugged. And so if you go next year, I recommend searching and finding a session. He'll take a game and teach you how to play it with completely wrong rules. And so he had taken Ice and Idols, which I got to demo, and then we played afterwards. Like I got to play the actual game. With Ice and Idols was a really fun game, but he turned it into a Plinko board style game. Like he turned the board like 45 degrees on an angle with the game box, and then we dropped the cubes through the chamber. It was so. Yeah. If you want some fun in your weekend, I would recommend stopping by his session next year if he does it. He's done it the last couple of years, so I can only assume he'll do it again. But
before you go anywhere, by the way, I want to point out, I'm going to grab it because I know we got to see you briefly Saturday night before you went off to do some of your other things.
Oh, I figured you talked about it. I wasn't going to talk about it.
I didn't mention it, so I wanted to bring this up. I did pick this up.
Watching this game. There and back again.
I could have just bought Lord of the Rings things this con if I wanted. I would have been. By the way, here's 2 towers. So you got to watch a little bit of this. I just want.
I'm so mad I got there late. I wish I could have hopped in. I got there probably 5 minutes too late to join.
It was like
and
5
it
minutes.
It looked so fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring this one up. There and back again. It is a roll and write. It is fairly straightforward with that initial mission. But I'm so excited about like digging deeper. So I'm totally going to be playing this. But if you haven't had a chance to check this out, folks, I just wanted to mention, because I have so many games sitting on my desk right now. It's a hot disaster. But this is what they all look like. These are these thick books. I want people to have a visual. Like that's what they are. And all the adventures are in here. And then they all play advancing differently, but they're all completely replayable because these are all these thick rewritable experiences, and they tell you how to each level's going to play the next. And
Yeah.
it was great. The first one was very basic. Anthony kicked our butts, actually, which as the non-Lord of the Rings fan, it was
Whoa,
kinda
whoa,
funny.
whoa.
You aren't. You declared you're not a Lord of the Rings or a Hobbit.
No. Just because I didn't know what Bag End was before. I didn't know these
Well, that's a
nuances.
sign that you're not a Hobbit fan if you don't know what Bag End is. If you know,
just
I
I
just
was
fed the dwarves what they wanted. I gave them all the bread or whatever. Oh,
yes,
God.
because in the first one, that is what you're doing. He's like, what was the question? You said, why did he call it Bag End? I think that's an actual Anthony quote.
Yeah,
I was listening
I got out nerded by you guys on that one for sure.
You got out nerded, but you also won, so it doesn't, but yeah.
This morning I was listening to the podcast So Very Wrong About Games, and they had on there The Hobbit there and back again. So they talked a little more in detail also about the different chapters and how it gets into areas, and once you move into an area you can't go back from that area, like it limits you in the roll and rights, but other ones you can go back over your path, which you can't do in other roll and rights. So I only watched the first one. It looked super fun, and I wish I could play it. Yeah.
I will say, just for anyone, if they ask, no, I haven't got to break much into this yet, but I intend to do so. I know Brian Chandler's been playing the first one. I assume he'll dig into this one on a solo level at some point, but I did stand in line to grab this because I have to have it anyway, so I may as well give them my money. But yeah, Brock, thank you. Appreciate it. I had to mention, that one because I know you walked in as we were playing it. And I do want to thank everybody, who did stop by Saturday night. It was strangely quiet in our hotel lobby till like 8:30, 9 o'clock, like eerily quiet, which it's never that quiet. And then suddenly it cracked and there was a ton of people. And it was funny just for people, because you didn't see this, because when you got there, it was like dead, right? The funniest thing was, I've never seen this, but this is the first year in the hotel lobby where we always do our Saturday night let's all get together event, where they were like, we're closing the lobby in 30 minutes. It has never happened before. So everyone was like so thrown off, like, what do you mean you're closing the lobby? Yeah.
Hotel lobbies do not close.
Yeah,
I didn't know lobbies closed. So we did close the lobby down for what it's worth.
That's nice. So. I closed out the free play area both nights. The first night they shut the lights off, which I've had the warnings happen. I've had the warnings happen before, and then come around and be like, "Hey, could you guys wrap it up?" And we were playing Wild Tiled West, and so we got to the end scoring, and we essentially just took photos of everybo's boards, and we scored the next day.
Nice.
But they shut the lights off in the library area. I didn't know they would do that, and so the second night we left, I think with 10 minutes to spare on Saturday night. But yeah. So everybody closes at midnight, I guess. Yeah.
Oh well, thanks for calling in, Brock.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to make it.
Yeah.
So,
great to hang out for sure.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Have a good
Thanks
one.
so much, guys.
Take care.
So Anthony, here's what I propose. I'm going to give a last call for call aboard here, call-aboard.com. Give us a call in. Anthony, I'm going to really quick highlight some other review copies that we need to play. These are very small. All of them are small, and they're from two different places. We have Galen Games provided four small 2-player games. One I particularly really liked from the review, Heritage Farms. Chickens and lots of good stuff. We also have Dice Clash. We have Verdant, Arizona, which definitely grabbed my attention. And then this monster mashup. So we got some good vibes here. 2-player games I really liked. In particular, like I said, Heritage Farm stood out to me. It had this really cool, almost beer and bread vibe to it. Not exact, but that was the closest comparison. I really liked it. The other stuff that they had looked really interesting. I know Greg from our community bought the full pack with the play mats, and I myself, if I really like them, will probably just say, hey, I'm going to buy the play mats from you now and the storage holder because it's worth it. and I believe they just announced the Kickstarter for it. If not today, I think it, or it's coming soon. So, Andrew, by the way, saying he play tested some of those.
Nice.
Yeah, I dig it. The other thing, which will lead into a gameplay story, is going to be, we had a chance to check. I got a chance to already play this. I got to play this with Greg from our community, which is Dust Biters. So this is a fun one. Dustin Dobson is one of the people behind Adventurous, which I got told has the vibe of the other game I liked, which was the Walking Dead game from Button Shy, because these are all Button Shy games. And then Shallow Regrets. I'm itching to play this with you, Anthony, because this one will be fun. So excited. These are some review copies that are going to get played very, very soon. But that leads me into something which is a perfect timing. I didn't set Brock up for this. I just want to be really clear. Speaking of small pocket games, did y'all mention In Vito Morte? Well, let me talk about In Vito Morte. This is the funnest game experience. I don't even know like how to best describe. Look, if you have not played In Vito Morte, Button Shy Games, it's like $9.99. Trust me, just add it to your collection. Because here's why. There are 8 wine cards and 8 poison cards. As you play the game, if you're the dealer, this is the teach. You don't need to look up a video. If you're the dealer, you're going to pick a card for yourself and everyone else. You're going to put it face down in front. If it is wine and they pick it up, and they're going to have a choice to pick up or pass. If they pick it up and it's wine, they survive the round. If it's poison, they're dead. So the dealer doesn't have a choice of anything. The dealer is hoping someone maybe takes their card or doesn't take their card. Going to go around the entire table. Pass or not pass. If you don't pass, like I said, pick it up, see what it is. That's going to go around for until there's only one person left. There has to be one wine and there has to be one poison. Sometimes it gets down to the end where there's just 2 people and it's a poison and a wine. Call it bluffing game, call it what you will. I just call it fun. And you play this game, and I played this at PAX with y'all, but I also played it with my family at Thanksgiving. I don't want to exaggerate, but that's a bloody miracle that they played a game with this large group of people. Played a game when they just wanted to play that phone game where you go like this with the word.
Heads up, yeah.
Heads up, like they want to do this. I was trying to get. I had a few people coming in, right? They loved this. And so that is a testament to how much fun it is. It was fun with gamers and it was fun with my family. I loved it. It was so much fun. It's silly, but it is such a great experience.
Yeah,
and,
very easy to get to the table within seconds.
Oh, and you'll play a game in 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes if you have a really large group. Dan saying Chrissy enjoyed this. She drank the poison each game. Andrew, by the way, pointing out that Making Manhattan by John Wood is my favorite Button Shy game so far. I have not played that one. I will add that to the list. But yeah, so In Vito Morte, loved it. That's the game. So simple. Stocking stuffer. Like, it's such a great choice. And Button Shy, honestly, let's face it, stocking stuffers galore here, but we've got a few to cover. But I want to make note of, I have already played Dust Biters and I'm going to get another play in. I did really like it. It was a fun little 2-player experience, but I'll go into more detail on that at a later date. So those are the ones I wanted to mention. Anthony, are we missing any? Did we cover all those? I want to make sure we haven't missed any.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. I did want to point out one, we did not get to talk to them. I've played it. I already own it. And I just want to note, because Happy Camper sent an email. Yeah. I didn't get to stop by to talk to him, but I did want to note, I like this one a lot, and it was being promoted fairly heavily. It's like an easier teach of Scout, in my view, but it has a lot of that same vibe. So if Scout's a little much, which it can be for some people, and especially family, I think this one is almost like a family or friendlier Scout for me, experience-wise. But it does a lot of the things that I like in Scout, which is you beat the previous card's combination. So I really dug this one. But I want to mention it because Happy Camper was really great. Whereas I believe when people say they love Invita Mort, but hard to get started in the description. I know. And I agree. The description itself, you're like, is that really much of a game? But you watch people. I compare it to my experience playing like Cockroach Poker, though. Even because that didn't sound exciting to me. It's a lot more game, right? Because you've got cards in front of you, but it's the same concept in terms for me of just a game that didn't maybe sound exciting on paper, but when I actually played, oh my goodness. So yeah, but it works. Maybe against the odds. I don't know. You be the judge. If again, I'm going to make this official last call-aboard.com. Okay. Never. We should mention this. That's not a hat. We did play That's Not a Hat. This was not a review copy or anything that someone gave us. It's just
very silly fun. Silly.
It's just another silly game.
A lot of cursing.
But That's Not a Hat was great because our brains were not there at that time and it was still a blast. If you haven't played That's Not a Hat, I'm gonna just tell you, play That's Not a Hat. Because That's Not a Hat is one of these games that and we played the pop culture one for the record, but they've got these shapes on them on the backside, and they tell you, oh, and these are the ones that are new to it. Otherwise, they just say left or right. That's not a hat. You look at your item, which is there one with an item? You would think there's a one. Okay, there. So That's Not a Hat. You'd have a setup like this at most 2 cards. Remember 2 cards. It's that simple. It's not that simple. Because by the time the player 4 people away from you has flipped over a bunch of cards, I don't remember if I have a hamster or a gerbil, a hat, or I don't remember. I'm just trying to keep track of what's passing around. And
I don't know what that is. That might be a capybara.
I think that is a capybara, actually. But the concept of this game, flip over. Once you flip it over to the side that's green, it stays face down, and you're going to be gifting cards, and they can say, I accept your gift, or no, I don't accept your gift. If they don't accept your gift and it's not that item, it goes up in front of that person. If it is, it goes up in front of you. You get too many of those, boom, you lose, everyone else wins. That's Cockroach Poker's kind of feel and vibe, but I did it. And I did Cockroach Poker for anyone who's questioning. I did Cockroach Poker. Yeah, and it is a capybara.
Yeah, buddy.
So, Anthony, I'm going to suggest if no one else is interested in calling in right now, and I'll give them that last chance, call-aboard.com. Get in now, whether you attend it or not. If you want to talk, ask questions, whatever, happy to have you. I'm going to suggest a rapid fire of just some other games that stood out real quick that maybe stand out to you that you purchased. I will go quickly with 3, and I'll give you a chance for any 3 that you would like. And then we will wrap up the episode. So, first and foremost, I'm going to bring up one that I did really like, and that is Mythical Dice. This is a trick-taking dice game. So trick-taking is back. But what I liked about this one a lot, and this is the one I'll go the most in detail on, is with Mythical Dice, you start with 1 die, and that is your trick. That is what you're going to lead your trick with. And you're going to put your hand and go 1, 2, 3, Minotaur. And I'm going to win 1 trick because I showed 1 finger. And if I win that trick, I get 20 points. If I don't, I lose 10 points. So I might start with -10. You want to obviously win the amount of tricks, but then you're going to get another die. Now you start to know what your opponent has over time, but these die have, and this is the one to look at, the die have very different, let's see, there it is, different things that will win. So, for example, the ones at the top are kind of a rock, paper, scissors style beating of each other. Then you've got the different order of purple beats red versus beats yellow versus gray, and then the flags just lose. Important piece here is highest number is always going to win unless it's those top ones. So if you get 6 and the latest 6, if you get a 6, Anthony, and then I get a 6, my 6 is now the winner. At that point, if I've been able to provide a matching accordingly with what I need with leading suits. All that said, there are X amount of numbers of all these different die, and you can see there's only a limited amount of that top one. It's just a really interesting experience. I really liked it, so that one stood out to me, and is why I wanted to call that out with my biggest shout out. And then, if you don't mind, from a purchase perspective, I'll just say the two I'm enjoying trying this one right now, which is Hercules and the 12 Labors. And I've not got to play it yet, but I got a hold of Tax the Rich, which I was on my list, if I'm not mistaken. And I've not played, but it's surprise, it's a trick taker. But that is just what it turned into. It was not intentional. So those are the three I wanted to mention. Enjoyed them all.
Nice.
So I can't say I enjoy Tax the Rich yet, but I have high expectations. Dan, by the way, chiming in. I'd love to hear the three that stood out for everybody in the chat. Change My Mind, Jingle Bell Roll, and Yokohama Duel for Dan, which I didn't. I got to check out sometime, that Yokohama Duel. Oh, free he's looking forward to.
Yeah, Jingle Bell Roll was really good. Let's see what stood out to me that I didn't say already. Oh, I finally played and made you a mixtape. Quite enjoyed that. Right. Played Propolis, which was on my radar last PAX when we did our video about what we were looking forward to. So I finally got to play that and purchased that as well. So that was good.
And that one, I have to say, man, that's a thinky little game. There is a ton in that box. I think that may be one of the best values I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In a game, just for how much they packed in it for like $25.
Yeah.
Especially in 2025. I think it was impressive.
What's Brock got here? Please Don't Burn My Village, Dice Miner, and Ubibo.
I saw Please Don't Burn My Village, but I'm intrigued now that he mentions it. So I might have to add that to my check it out list, because that's Please Don't Burn My Village. Let's see.
Please don't burn my village.
Let's see. Oh, look at that. Oh, I like the art. It's got the that dragon does look like trouble. Dan, I was saying Propolis was a good time. Played that the next night in free play with my buddies. So yeah, that again, solid games. I will say this, Anthony. Well, actually, let's just first and foremost, takes place in the same world as Castle Panic. Okay.
Oh, cool.
That makes sense.
Nice.
That makes a ton of sense. I will as we wrap this up, I want to first and foremost say this is probably our second to last live video of the year. We have some creator corners we're setting up and some things. But we've really enjoyed this year. Obviously, we played a lot of great games. PAX Unplugged is our home away from home. And so thank you to everyone who came out. I want to point out in particular, I mean, it's always great to see so many of you, but the fact that we had some people fly out. I know Tyler flew out, quite a ways to be there, and it's incredible. So thank you to this community. You make this all so worth doing, and planning out all these things and spending these hours here on the internet, as opposed to sleeping at some points. And it's a ton of fun. So thank you. I want to thank PAX as always for making a great experience for us. And then I just want to thank all the people I got to see, because I was running into I got to run into Z. I always say the Z and play the Z, not the Z, the Z. But when it comes down to it, running into some people and just I will tell you, one of the coolest things that happened for me, often it's just meeting someone else, whether they were a content creator or not, and having a nice in-depth conversation. I got to tell you, I don't know if you even noticed, I got to sit down with Grant for from Grant Recommends for 25 minutes and just chat. And it was such just a nice conversation. He taught me his game, which was fun. And just a conversation. And these types of moments, this is why I love this con. It's like the perfect size to me. I don't know what it is. It's probably the perfect size. Yeah, wonderful time. Dan, by the way, putting out such a great weekend. Missed Espen. Happy time made his way out, and happy to see Dr. J and Greg. Yes. For you, any takeaways? Anything you want to leave everybody with before we wrap up the night?
No, I think you pretty much summed it all up. We'll see you again next year at PAX Unplugged. But you'll see us here on the channel in a couple of weeks.
Yes, you will see us. We have at least one more video, and then probably some other ones dropping. But in terms of live, probably at least one more. But stay tuned. If you're new to the channel and have not subscribed, please do me a favor, subscribe. It goes a long way in helping us. And with that, I want to say thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for what has been a great year, in case you aren't able to make the last show. But more than anything, thanks for playing some games with us and hanging out with us tonight. On that note, I'm going to say have a great night. Thanks for coming aboard the Tabletop Express. See you soon.